It is said that no two snowflakes are alike, but have you ever seen a pair of swan feathers that are alike? These birds spend half their lives paddling around in water, yet they have evolved to be some of the most graceful creatures on Earth. Their streamlined bodies and large webbed feet make them superb swimmers, but it's their striking white feathers that really set them apart from other waterfowl. Hi, I'm here to talk about these beautiful birds and the secret behind their stunning plumage. Swans are famous for being elegant and regal, but they're also surprisingly athletic. In fact, they're strong enough to pull 4 times their body weight. That's like a 200-pound person pulling a car. And because of their long necks and legs, they can run at speeds up to 30 miles per hour, which is faster than most humans. They use these skills to escape predators and also to capture their prey, which typically consists of aquatic plants and sometimes small fish or frogs. Swans usually live in temperate climates with easy access to water. Because they spend so much time in the water, they need plenty of space to swim around in. This means that they generally prefer shallower waters such as ponds, lakes, and slow-moving rivers rather than the open ocean. While they don't migrate long distances each year, they do travel extensively in search of food, sometimes covering more than 600 miles in a single day. These birds are highly social animals and typically live in groups called pods that can number in the dozens. Even though they spend most of their time looking for food, they still make time for romance. Courtship rituals can include swimming in circles, bowing, posturing, and vocalizing. And once a pair has bonded, they tend to stay together for life. However, if one of the pair dies, the survivor may find a new mate. Because swans are so heavy, they build their nests on the ground rather than in trees. Female swans lay an average of 5 to 7 eggs per year, but only 1 or 2 of those eggs will actually hatch. The parents will take turns sitting on the eggs, protecting them from predators and keeping them warm until they hatch after about 35 days. Once the cygnets are born, both parents will help take care of them, feeding and protecting them until they are old enough to fend for themselves. Most cygnets can fly at around 10 weeks old, but they will stay with their parents' pod until the following spring. Adult swans have few predators of their own, but their eggs and cygnets are vulnerable to a variety of hungry predators, including foxes, raccoons, turtles, and, of course, humans. Humans have hunted swans for their meat and feathers for centuries, and in the past we have poached swan eggs for a delicacy known as a la carte. Thankfully, poaching swan eggs is now illegal, and these birds are protected in many parts of the world. But they still face threats from habitat destruction and climate change. All swans have black bills, red legs and feet, and typically all white feathers. But there are some notable exceptions. For example, mute swans sport an orange bill with a black knob, while black swans have mostly black feathers with some white patches. And despite their name, not all swans are actually white. Many species, including the black swan, have predominantly dark feathers with some white markings. But no matter what color their feathers are, all swans have something in common. Their feathers are basically a solid white, which gives them their iconic look. That's right, those beautiful white feathers aren't actually white at all. They're translucent. Each feather has a central vein that runs from the bird's body to the tip of the feather. As light passes through this vein, it bends, creating the illusion of whiteness. However, if you look closely at a swan's feather, you can actually see a subtle rainbow effect. This happens because different wavelengths of light bend at slightly different angles. When white light passes through the feather, it separates into its different wavelengths, or colors, which then refract at slightly different angles. This creates an iridescent effect that appears as a rainbow. But why do swans have translucent feathers? Scientists think it has something to do with how they reflect ultraviolet light, possibly to help camouflage their eggs and nests. But while scientists used to believe that swans preen their feathers to remove these colorful reflections, recent research suggests that this may not be the case. Instead, it looks like the actual structure of the feathers is responsible for this effect. So the next time you see a beautiful white swan, remember that those feathers aren't just white, they're actually rainbows.